National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has faulted allegations by Human Rights Watch that rescued victims of trafficking are being subjected to dehumanizing conditions. NAPTIP Director General Julie Okadonli, at a press briefing in Abuja, says the allegations are baseless and deliberate attempts to rubbish the efforts of the Nigerian government. Sunji Oye reports.
We are also very concerned that Nigerian authorities are actually detaining these women in shelters, in government-run shelters, and further traumatizing them. The first thing and immediate thing that they can do is stop detaining them in the shelters, because clearly that is causing them a lot of stress and distress, and is not helping people who have already gone through so much. So we want the government to run what we call open shelters and more community-based programs.
That was the submission by the Human Rights Watch that triggered a misunderstanding between NAPTIP and the body. The Human Rights Watch, in a 90-page report released in Abuja, said the Nigerian government have failed to provide the assistance that survivors of trafficking need to rebuild their lives, stressing that the government unlawfully detained many of the already traumatized women and girls. But the agency responsible for addressing issues of trafficking in Nigeria, NAPTIP, is vehemently rejecting these allegations.
After going through the report, we are bold to say that the entire report is a mere figment of the imagination of the writers, as the narratives fall below the standards in the operations of our shelters, as well as the standards for our victim support and assistance. It is important to note that the agency observes all the world's best practices in victim handling as enshrined by the Palermo Protocol, which includes that no victim shall be kept in a shelter against his or her own will. The activities in our shelters are further guided by the National Policy on Protection and Assistance to Trafficked Persons in Nigeria, a national document that has also been adopted by ECOWAS in dealing with victims of human trafficking.
Director General of NAPTIP, Julie Okadonli, told journalists that Human Rights Watch must have been misinformed about the operations of the agency. She said the international body also goofed by not cross-checking its facts from the appropriate office before releasing its report.
The Human Rights Watch report mentioned some unnamed officials of the agency, as well as unidentified victims whom they claimed to have spoken with, and they never spoke to any authorized person. This is quite curious. Again, why would the organization visit the headquarters of the agency for inputs a few hours to the release of their reports, and also did not reflect the comments of the official they interacted with yesterday? Could it be that the Human Rights Watch had decided on its narrative and only visited the agency's headquarters for formality's sake? I would like to request the general public, the local and international media, to disregard, discountenance disinformation as untrue, a pack of lies, and an attempt to tarnish the image of NAPTIP and the Nigerian government for whatever ulterior motive the Human Rights Watch wants to achieve.
NAPTIP assures its local and international partners that it will continue to abide by international standards and best practices in the protection and assistance to trafficked victims. From Abuja, Sunji Oye, CV360 News.